All right. All right. It looks like we're live here. Greetings, colleagues. It's your favorite optometrist, Dr. Darryl Glover. And I'm here live with Dr. Princess Ike. And we are going to have an amazing time today. We are here on Africa Media, Africa's gateway for all eye care professionals. And today we're going to visit Nigeria. Yes, Nigeria. That is my other home. For those that may not know, I love Nigeria. Everything about that country is beautiful. And today we have an amazing optometrist that I had the opportunity of meeting at a conference. But of course, like everyone else, we met online. So, Dr. Princess, welcome to the show today. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me, Daryl. I'm fine.
Great, great, great. So, for those that may be unfamiliar with who you are, if you don't mind just breaking down who you are, how'd you get in love with optometry? Where do you practice? Where did you go to school? Let's just get the rundown about everything about you, Dr. Princess.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dario. This is a great opportunity, and you all are doing an amazing work. I must commend you on that. So, Princess is a public health optometrist and a social entrepreneur. I'm from Oka in Oka South local government area of Anambra State in eastern Nigeria. I hold a Doctor of Optometry degree from Madonna University student and a master's degree in public health from the University of Benin, Nigeria. Currently, I am the Chief Executive Officer and Principal Optometrist at Princess Vision Eye Clinic Limited, located in Abuja, Nigeria, which focuses on providing qualitative, accessible, and affordable eye care service to everyone, irrespective of their social class. I'm also a certified biomedical investigator from the University of Florida, Miami. I am a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management Chartered with a proficiency certificate in management. I am a certified health safety and environment professional from the Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria. A Yellow West Africa Fellow and also a World Economic Forum Global Shaper. So my journey into optometry is really a good one because before my birth and after my birth, my mom was working in an eye clinic. So it pretty much exposed me early enough to the eye care space. So from the get-go, I knew that I wanted to study optometry as against relations telling me why optometry, why not pharmacy, why not medicine. I said I wanted to do optometry. So that is how it was pretty much okay for me. Although I had little or no time for fun activities, I wanted to make my parents proud. I wanted to make myself proud and all. So basically, as an undergraduate in optometry school, I had a good one, a good stay. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Well, you definitely have a pretty solid background. Let's just say that. I mean, that's a lot of degrees, a lot of certificates, a lot of just education. But it makes sense. I mean, you're very successful in regards to what you do. And again, I've been around you and I've seen your love for just patients in general. So I know you always put the patients first, and hence all the education that you receive to give them the best eye care in the world. Now, what I would like to really touch on today is just really your journey. I mean, you with all that background, that means you've had a hell of a journey throughout this entire time to become an optometrist. So if you don't mind just, kind of taking it from the beginning, let's paint the picture of what optometry school was like, how it works, how the program is set up, because we got folks all across the continent that want to know more about eye care in Nigeria. And I think the best way to get started is hearing from someone that basically went to school, that graduated not too long ago. So if you don't mind just breaking down the different steps of, what it takes to get into optometry school, what it was like, the pros, the cons, all of that jazz in general, Dr. Princess.
Thank you, Dr. Dario. So basically, to get into optometry school, you must have passed a general exam we call the WAEC. I think most West African countries should be familiar with that. That is like the exam for all senior secondary students in Nigeria. So obviously, going for optometry means you have to be science inclined. Then in Nigeria, optometry requires a minimum of 6 years. Yeah, I said a minimum of 6 years because you can come across strikes at any time. Then the
Wow.
first 2 years of the program basically is dedicated to science courses where we have anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. Then the third and fourth year focuses on courses like ophthalmic optics and other hands-on courses. Then from the fourth, fifth, and sixth year, that is where your clinicals begin. That is where we start our clinicals. Now, for the fifth year, you're focused on more classes and also community outreach programs. So we go into communities, and that is basically when you start seeing the real patients now. Then the sixth year is divided into two. The first half is being reserved for an externship program, more like an IT for those in basic sciences. So you go out of the school months. Then the second half is being reserved for more classes, seminars, and of an accredited optometry program. You're going to be inducted by the optometrist and dispensing opticians board of Nigeria, where you're being awarded a provisional license, which is valid for 1 year, that will serve as a legal opportunity for you to seek internship placements. So after your internship placement or housemanship, as you might know it as, of 30 years, you go for what we call the NYSC, which is the National Youth Service Corps. So basically, the National Youth Service Corps is a compulsory 1 year program where every Nigerian graduate is being posted to another state aside your state of origin. The aim basically is to help in nation building and development. You mix with people of different cultural backgrounds and professional backgrounds. Then after that 1 year, you're giving your discharge certificate. So at that point, you can now say you are a fully registered optometrist in Nigeria.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that's
I
it.
love it. I mean, it's a lot of education. It's a lot of hands-on. I really like that program that you guys have to do, the 1 year of. I know a lot of people complain about it, but the one thing that I didn't even realize and look at is that, you have to go somewhere else that you're not originally from. And I think, you know, cultural competence is something that is huge. I mean, it's not just, a black and white thing, but also, within your own country, there could be several different cultures, and to be able to learn another culture can just make you a better optometrist all around, because you start to learn certain things that they may eat, certain things that they may do, certain things that they may believe in, that may prevent them from actually getting the best eye care. So to be able to have that education and have that experience, that makes you well rounded. Now, I know some folks are like, hey, I want to get to the money and start working right away. But it seems like the program really can take you to the next level as far as being a physician. So I think that's pretty cool. While you were in school, Dr. Princess, what was some of the obstacles that you face? Because I'm licensed to practice out there. I got my license out there, and I had to go and sit for the board and get licensed and all that other jazz. So I was able to talk to other students, but also see some of the setups in the schools and things of that nature. So if you don't mind just touching on some of the obstacles that you think took place while you were in optometry school and how you overcame those obstacles as well.
Yeah, okay. So basically, with a course as optometry, 6 years is not child's play. There were obviously challenges. The challenge basically came from the volume of the work done, not because we had like the pass mark for Nigerian optometry students is 50, So you're knowing that if you get 49.9, you're going to repeat a class. If you get 49.9, you will not be promoted to the next class and what have you. So then it had this voluminous. So when you're talking about anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, ocular anatomy, it's voluminous. So in this your small head, trying to like let's say put them together and read, that is where I think I had to now draw a timetable, and I had reading partners, reading mates, because you might think you're intelligent, but you need other people also to put you in check. So during that time, I had reading partners from my first year to my final year, because from the initial goal, I knew what I wanted. I knew optometry was not an easy thing. I knew to be called a medical doctor was not an easy thing also. So that's why I say it took more of my time, less fun activities and all. Now, also was the fact of lack of curriculum, because as at the time I entered Madonna University, which is a private university, actually, it wasn't accredited. Optometry wasn't accredited then, but we were already in school. So the fear of what if what if the program is not being accredited before I finish school and all. But I think I was lucky, or my set was lucky, because the program was accredited when I was in my fifth year. So it was, and subsequently others have been graduated, but it was worth it at the end. At least I came out with good grades from school, so it was worth it.
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point. When it comes to optometry school and just also practicing as an optometrist, the one thing that you were really touching on is having time management. Time management is huge because with that program and with the amount of course load that you have at one time, it can be overwhelming. So it's important to really, as you had touched on, write out your game plan. Write out your short term goals, your long term goals. X amount of hours that you're going to look at this particular topic and then go to the next topic. X amount of hours that you're going to actually have more hands on in the lab and things of that nature. Because if you don't, you can really set yourself up for failure. And if you're one of those last minute folks, it can really be difficult to really take it to the next level and be able to pass those courses. And I don't know about you, I don't like to spend excess money that I don't have and don't want to spend on having to retake something just
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't do my time management properly. So I think it's huge. I think it's very important to not only as a student, but also as a practicing physician to really look at that time management aspect. Now, another question I wanted to ask you was, when you were in school, when it came to more on the hands-on aspect, how was that experience? Were you able to get, the training that you wanted to within the institutions, or did you feel like you got more of the training when you were out on your rotations? And how did you guys go about selecting your rotations? I mean, how key was that to really take it to the next level for you becoming an optometrist?
So basically, when I was in school, owing to the fact that I actually attended a private university, instrumentation was not a problem because it was being provided for like everything. We basically had all equipment in school. So it wasn't really a problem. So I can't say perhaps if there was no challenge actually, because the private school wanted to be like at par with other schools also. And I didn't feel, even though I learned also, I learned more also during the externship program. That is why I feel the externship program is very, very important before you now become a full registered optometrist. So basically, with instrumentation, it was okay. And personally, each optometry student from their fourth year is required to have a trial lens case set at least, your ophthalmoscope, your retinal. So you yourself, you practice during your clinicals when you're free. So it was okay.
That's great. That's great to hear. I know one thing at my school, we were able to have all the equipment and things that we needed to be able to practice. And of course, we had to, buy the retinoscope, the trial lens kit, some of the items that you touched on. But the one thing that I really wanted to have more of was more of being able to fit contact lens, more interior segment stuff instead of posterior segment. Because the school I went to in the States, they were all about the back of the eye, ocular disease, your diabetic retinopathy, hypertensive retinopathy, glaucoma, things of that nature. So my externships, my rotations were very beneficial for me because I was able to get out and actually find the right ones to complement what I knew in the back of the eye and really hone in on the front surface of the eyes. Um, at your school, were you able to really get a well-rounded education in regards to not only having all the instruments and tools to be able to do a routine eye exam, but also they were able to walk you through the front of the eye to the back of the eye, and you had a lot of patients that you were able to practice on and learn how to become an optometrist?
Yes, Dario, my school actually did because we had a teaching hospital in our school, and we also had which had an optometry department. So from your fifth year, when real patients are being presented to the clinic, we had a roster, so you know the days you're working at the clinic. So with the guidance of full optometrists, you examine and give them your own diagnosis and they check. So it was pretty much easier because we had a teaching hospital that had the optometry department in school. So we had the rosters like that. So it was pretty much, I think, okay. But at the beginning, it was kind of like scary. What if I make a mistake? What if what I see is not correct and all? But there were people there to guide you actually. So it was okay. Yeah.
That's fantastic, Dr. Princess. And one other thing I'd like to ask you about is what about more of the optical aspect? Because with optometry school, they do teach us more of, refractions, how to look at the front surface, how to look at the back of the eye. How was your knowledge in regards to before you started practicing, knowing different lens types, knowing how to fit a progressive, different measurements? How was that in regards to being prepared to jump out in the real world?
So basically, we had a course called Ophthalmic Optics Lab. That was where basically we were trained to fit lenses, single vision lenses, bifocal lenses. It was twice every week. So we learned that usually from your third year actually. So you make mistakes obviously, but you will learn doing it. So we had lenses. The department had lenses they'll give you to read up. They'll give you a lensometer. You read up the lenses. You fix the lenses. You glaze the lenses. You might make mistakes, but over time, then during the exam time, we had the theoretical part and the practical part. So ophthalmic optics, after the theoretical part of writing what you were taught, then the lab now is now where you get to fit lenses. You glaze and fit lenses duration of 1 hour, then you're being scored. So I think most optometrists in Nigeria know how to actually had what we call the 21 steps. 21 steps is just basically talking about both if you're treating for optotics, it had different examinations. So subjective refraction was just number 7. So it made you know that optometry practice is not all about refraction alone. There are other things that had to do with optometry, how to correct for strabismus. So you had to know that 21 steps. So that when a patient comes to your clinic, you won't say, I thought you came for refraction, I don't know it. So it's like a total package at the end of the day.
Yeah, I love that. That's fantastic. I mean, that's the one thing that I love about our profession. That is that, we're able to practice our full scope of optometry. Yes, there's the retail sector, and yes, there's the medical sector, but we're blessed to have both sides, and that really makes us leaders in healthcare because we're able to help someone see, but we're also able to look in the back of the eye and able to refer them to an endocrinologist if they have diabetes, a primary care physician if we see some other systemic conditions taking place. So it's truly a blessing to be able to help folks. Dr. Princess, during this time of COVID-19, being that you have your own practice and you're running it, I would really love to kind of switch gears and touch on that a little bit. I'd love to just get a little insight in regards to maybe some of the protocols that's taking place in your practice, how you're handling this, how's the patient load, just kind of paint the picture of what's taking place in your practice, but also in Nigeria right now with COVID-19.
So that is actually a good question. The patient load is pretty much low because patients are scared to come to the clinic because they know that the clinic or the hospital is also an easy way to get COVID-19. However, to safeguard visiting patients and our staff, we have set in place some precautions that will help prevent the spread of COVID-19. So we have temperature checks at the before you come into the clinic, temperature checks for both staff and patients also. Then you must have your face mask. If you don't have, one will be provided for you. Then hand sanitization, very, very important. You have the situation where someone comes and tells you, I don't want to sanitize. If you don't want to sanitize, we are sorry, we can't attend to you because you have to sanitize. You see stubborn patients at that point telling you, I don't want to sanitize and all. Then disinfection of instruments and equipment after every use. So very, very important. Even the patient will also tell you, please sanitize it again. So you don't want a situation where the patient is always telling you sanitize. You do it in front of them and not when they are not around. So not the situation of you say, I have sanitized it. No, you do it in front of the patient. So they are seeing that you're sanitizing it and as well. Then cleaning of object surfaces and the floors routinely, also with disinfectants, then social distancing. So for the consulting room, not more than two people are allowed. And the condition is basically for children or for people that can communicate in your language if it's English language. So no more than two people can be allowed into the consulting room. Then no air condition. There's no air condition here. So our windows are open, the doors are open to limit contact of any sort. And we have learned to embrace e-consultation. I'm sure if you asked this question last year, most optometrists in Nigeria will tell you, no, I don't do online consultations and all. But now you don't have a choice because patients don't want to come to the clinic. And if you're running a private sector, obviously you have to look for a way to attend to patients, except you don't want to progress in the real sense of it. So basically, that is it. While we are praying and we are hopeful that this pandemic comes to an end as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, I love that you're not just staying stagnant. You're thinking outside of the box here. You know that the patients want to be seen, but they may not want to come into the office. So you have to open up that door of telehealth and be able to communicate with the patients and give them what they want. Because at the end of the day, our patients do dictate how we practice, and if they're asking for more of telehealth appearance or more telehealth practicing, that's something that we definitely need to do and make happen as well. So I love that you guys have taken it to the next level in regards to that. Well, this has been great. It looks like Dr. Princess, the signal is going in and out there. I know how it could be in Nigeria at times, but I wanted to just thank Dr. Princess for hanging out with me today. It was great learning about her journey in eye care. It was great learning about everything that she's doing in her practice as well. And I look forward to just really learning more about what other optometrists are doing all throughout Africa. Obi and I would love to bring you guys on a weekly basis if you're interested in being interviewed, so we can learn more about your story, so we can learn more about your journey, so we can learn more about the specialty that you may have that you're doing in your practice, because we want to learn from each other. So feel free to email us. You can email ifricamedia@gmail.com or hit us up on any other social media platforms, and that'll be great. But we definitely want to make sure that we are able to put the stories out there for all the great optometrists, ophthalmologists, and opticians, and just eye care leaders in general in Africa. Dr. Princess, I was saying thank you dearly for breaking down everything as far as your journey and your COVID-19 protocols and all that other jazz. I'd love for you just to leave with the listeners and the followers just some contact information. So if they want to learn more about you as well as follow you, because you are a wealth of knowledge, you have a successful practice, you're great when it comes to branding. If you don't mind, just leaving some contact information for the listeners and followers.
Thank you, Dari, for moderating this section. I really appreciate your time and your effort to take IK in Africa to greater heights. So on Instagram, you can reach me on Star Optometry. You want obviously on Instagram with that name. Then on Twitter, Star Optometrist as well. Together, no space. Then on Facebook, Princess Ifoma Ike, and also on LinkedIn, Princess Ifoma Ike. Pretty much simple to remember.
Well, thank you again, Dr. Princess. It's always great to hang out with you. I'm sorry that we weren't able to have a conference in Nigeria this year where we could sit down and have some drinks and talk shop and enjoy life like we normally do every conference. But next time, hopefully, we'll be able to make that happen. But until then, stay strong, stay healthy, stay blessed. Thank you again for everything. You have a great one, Dr. Princess.
Thank you. Thank you, Dario.